Hey, here with TheEZGZ. I thought I'd start this video today adjusting the valves on Rusty, the Baja. People have commented in the past that they would like me to just show some basic things about the car. We sometimes get to thinking we got to do all the involved high-tech stuff, but I adjusted the valves on this car for 6/1000ths of an inch for my trip. When you have a heavy-duty valve springs and you're using the Performance chromoly push rods, you generally it's too noisy. I don't like it. And those chromoly push rods don't grow like the aluminum ones. You never want your valves to be too tight and not closed completely, because they'll leak by and that'll burn them and eat out the seats. So you always want to make sure that you do have good valve clearance. But I am going to change mine to, I'll probably go down to 4/1000ths. It's been a while. I need to check them. I want to do some driving today. I don't want to listen to the clatter. The only thing that's different in my application is I'm using the Geenberg swivel feet adjusters, and that's just right over here. I've had them for years. And when I adjust my valves, I really don't care where number one is when I get started. I take the distributor cap off, and I happen to be coming up on number one. So we're going to go a little bit farther and make sure the car's in neutral, and then we're going to rotate it to, we have the timing mark at top dead center here. Where is it here? Where's my finger? We'll get the timing mark on top dead center with the split in the case, and we'll probably start with number one. I'm going to take the valve covers off on both sides. Okay, I've got her set up on number one. I've got my going to get my feeler gauge here. I look for the worn out one because okay, and then we're just going to slide it between, and you probably can't see what I'm doing on this one. Oh, this exhaust valve's tightened up. Aha! I can't even get this 4 between here. Now, this is a good example, okay? The exhaust valve on one. Okay, I can rotate the pushrod tube. So even though it's tightened up, this is why we do valve adjustments. It's okay because the valve is closed completely, because I can still rotate underneath. So I was talking about tightening up to not have a clatterbox, but in this case, I'm getting in a exactly. I'm loosening it up. So I'm going to stick my wrench on here so it's in the way, and then I'm going to put my Allen wrench on the adjuster. I like these Allen wrench style adjusters, and I'm just going to back it off just a little bit, and of course let's see, I just barely turned it. And this is just trial and error. There's no magical thing. I kind of like snug it up, and then what generally happens is when you tighten the nut, it gets a little too tight, and you kind of have to feel your way around. The normal ones have a screwdriver slot in them, so you're kind of in my way here with the camera right on my shoulder. So I'm just going to snug it up just a little bit, left the feeler gauge in there. I'm going to drag it back and forth. I like it a nice smooth drag, but that's good enough. I'm so glad I checked that. Now we'll try the intake. The exhausts are on the outside, makes sense, right? And the intakes are on the inside. I wonder if I already had done this. This intake's tight too. Well, I may have more of a clatterbox. We'll see which one's loose and which ones are tight. Now, this is a good time to tell you too. If you do this and you find that you keep getting loose and loose and loose, and you're not using oil with zinc in it, your cam may be going away, and that's going to decrease power too. See, this thing was just a little bit loose too. You try not to contaminate things with dirt. Just get it where it kind of like, as I see it as I'm talking, I don't realize I even do some of this stuff. I've done it so many times. Leave your feeler gauge hanging in there. And you don't have to over tighten those nuts, for crying out loud. I've gotten some motors that, crying out loud, the nuts were all rounded off. That's a little loose. So I'm just gonna loosen the nut, go a little bit more, and tighten it. I like to get it pretty close, and I'm going to 4,000 instead of the recommended 6. Sometimes you just have to change your angle. Now I got it too tight. See, I struggle just like everybody else, but it's still a quick job. It's cold in the morning, and I got a shady place to work. There's a little bit of a breeze, which I don't like. So I just barely cracked it loose and tight. And I'm going to call this one good. Alright. So, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you just keep working at it till you get it just right. Now you'll see the rotor's turning. And I'm going to go 180 degrees around. I've got my pulley marked for bottom dead center. Where are ya? And it's coming around. And you know, it doesn't make any difference if it's an 1/8 of an inch either way. It's get it close, but that's all I gotta do. So the rotor's pointing at 4, and that's what we'll do. 4. And I think guys that are watching this, it's kind of hard for me to get in here, but it's a lot easier than a regular car having the Baja up off the ground and none of this sheet metal in the back. So kind of give it a wiggle. Feels like there's a little bit of play. My gosh, this one is just about perfect. I don't mind if it's a little bit of a drag like that. This is number 4. We'll see what the intake is like. Intake feels more like 6, so I'm going to tighten that up just a skosh. You're still in the frame. Okay. Okay. Loosen it and just give it a little bit of a tightness. Ooh, I'm liking that. Now I'm putting resistance on this Allen wrench, so as I snug it, it's not changing my adjustment. Okay, cylinder 4 is done. Now we'll go back one there on 3. You watch that while I rotate. Okay. Ooh, there's the noisy one. Number 3. Yep. I knew one of them was loose. Intake on number 3. That was the one that was bothering me. Sounded like a damn camshaft or connecting rod. It was so clattery. I don't even know if the camera's on. Okay, intake's done. Exhaust is loose. exhaust is okay. 1, 4, 3, 2. One more. I just kind of like to feel them. Kind of see where I'm at. That's nice. Just pull it through. Oh, intake's a little sloppy. That's just about right. Okay, so we're using the gaskets. Didn't lose a lot of oil. Make sure you don't get dirt in there. Kind of feel it around. These bales I can do by hand. Some of them are tighter than that. Probably should have wiped them off before I took the covers off, but it's so much easier on a Baja to do this type of maintenance. I love it, love it, love it. I'll get the other side here. Okay. Don't forget to put your distributor cap back on. Done that 1,000 times. Might want to gander at your point gap. Just eyeball it. Well, you got the cap off, and you got a wrench to rotate the engine. And yeah, according to the eyeball, looks just perfect. Make sure your carbon tit's okay. Look at the inside of your cap for a buildup of deposits. Rotor was not pushed down all the way. This has the little dust cover on it. Now, see, the engine's always talking to you. Your car is always talking to you. Well, let's, I guess we gotta do the start up, but I don't have the key with me. I'm sure we'll do some running. So, basically, that's how I do my valve check, valve adjustment. A little bit longer with the camera than it does when you got the Freedom underneath it. You got the tarp, so you're not getting all dirty and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm going to check my oil and head for breakfast. Going out for breakfast. Check out this granary. This is a town close to me called Berthoud. And look at that mural. That's pretty incredible. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.